I have used quite a many vintage lenses over the years. There have been many good ones and many not so good ones. These two lenses are both still really inexpensive and make for some really sharp, contrasty and colorful images. Let me show you something interesting. If you had to guess which one of these lenses was 50mm and which one 100mm, you would probably guess this being the 50mm. In fact, it's the opposite. This 100mm lens is the size of a regular 50mm 1.8. Some information about these lenses. The Canon 50mm 3.5 S.S.C was released in 1973 for the FD mount. This is one of the older lenses and it has this breech lock mount system where you rotate the ring to attach and take off the lens. The lens has a maximum aperture of f3.5, which is not very bright, but it's normal for a macro lens, and it's bright enough for daylight pictures. This lens is only capable of 1 to 2 macro without the extension tube, so it's not a real macro lens. The front element is super deep inside the lens, so it's not necessary to use a lens hood. 50mm is the perfect focal length, in my opinion, for general purpose photography. You can also do portraits, landscapes, and many other kinds of photography with a 50mm lens. I bought this lens around 2 months ago, together with the A1 body and this Tokina super wide 17mm lens for 120 euros. Usually you're expected to pay around 50 euros for this 50mm lens. The second lens, the Series E 100mm f2.8, was released in 1979. The 100mm often comes bundled with the Nikon EM. So did mine, but I ended up selling the EM because I already had the FE2, which is much better body. I paid only 40 euros for the lens and the Nikon EM body, which were both in mint condition. I then sold the body for 50 euros, so in the end I got this lens pretty much for free. I have used this lens on my 5D Classic and also on my Lumix S5. Both of the lenses have extremely smooth focusing rings. When you focus really close on the 50mm lens, it extends quite a bit, but when you use it on normal focusing distances, it's quite small. The Canon FD lens weighs 310 grams and has a 55mm filter thread. The Nikon is incredibly small and also lightweight thanks to the plastic materials. The weight is 210 grams and it takes 52mm filters. Both of the lenses have 6 aperture plates, so if you stop the lens down, the bokeh might not be as pleasing as you wish. Of course, wide open, the bokeh is nice and round. The aperture ring has one-stop increments on the Nikon lens, where with the Canon you have half stops available. Minimum focusing distance is 23.2 centimeters for the Canon macro lens, and that is 9.1 inches from the sensor or the film plane. The minimum focusing distance on the Nikon lens is slightly under 1 meter. So these two vintage lenses are my favorites in terms of price and the performance you get for the money. Both of the lenses can be found for under 100 euros. The center sharpness on the Canon lens is incredible already at f3.5. The corners are also good and they get excellent at f5.6. Shooting wide open, there's tiny bit of vignetting, but nothing major. The optical performance stays excellent down to f11. I didn't shoot the test chart at f16 or f22. The Nikon lens also has really good sharpness in the center already at wide open. The corners are slightly soft, but they get better at f5.6. There's little bit of chromatic aberration and vignetting visible. The vignette goes away at f4, but little bit of the chromatic aberration remains.